Yo, so these Detroit Pistons just keep rolling, beating the Houston Rockets. This was a hell of a game. This was a hell of a game. There were so many themes going on in this game. Uh, Cade versus Jalen Green, Ausar versus Amin Thompson. Um, you had all these guys with so much to prove, not just to themselves, but they were playing in front of a home crowd. Ron Holland, Cade Cunningham. Um, Marcus Sasser, right? A bunch of these guys are from the area. You could tell that they were really up for this game. And I would say to an extent, I think it kind of got the better of them in the first half a little bit because they were a little bit too hyped. But all that's to say is it was one hell of a game. I want to dive into the details of it. But before I do, this video is brought to you by Bridges and Stone's Family and Relationship Care. You know, there are times in my life that I look back on and wonder why I did not reach out for support. I recognized how much I normalized struggling on my own in silence when I didn't have to. If I was an athlete dealing with an injury, I would have sought out a trainer or doctor. If I couldn't figure out a set play, settle teammate disputes, or my role on the team, I would have sought out an assistant coach for support. Well, Bridges and Stones is a place to find well-trained supportive coaching for your life. Don't struggle alone. Contact Bridges and Stones today for a free consultation and get your life back on track. Remember, none of us make it alone. The link is in the description box below. You know, I want to say first and foremost, Cade had one hell of a game. Respect. I appreciate his awareness and knowingness on when to turn it on, when he has it going, and when he has it going, he rolls. And when he rolls, this boy keeps rolling. I want to say he scored, 19 points, something like that, 19, 17 points in that third quarter. Uh, he was, 8 for 9 from the field or something like that, 7 for 8. Got to the free throw line, knocked down threes, played off the ball, on the ball. He didn't force any of the issue. He was in rhythm. He knew he was in rhythm, and he used it to his advantage, and his team used it to their advantage. They took a commanding lead, and they wouldn't relinquish it. But I would have to say that once again, this was a team win. As much as we can uh, definitely big up and praise Cade Cunningham on his trek to become a first-time All-Star, which I think he definitely has a case. He's got to keep it up, but he definitely has a case. Um, this team stepped up in major ways. Let me start off by saying kudos to Jalen Duren stringing together good games, double doubles, staying out of foul trouble, finishing well at the rim, uh, finding his rhythm to know where to be in terms of screens and diving to the basket and helping out on defense without committing the silly fouls, like the little reach-ins. But I think he did most of his damage in the first half. I don't even think he scored, I want to say, in the second half. I would say that he probably maybe scored once in the second half. I don't know. Somebody has to let me know in the comment section. But this was a great team effort. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a solid game. Of course, taking his charges. You gotta love those charges because they always come seemingly like in these transitional moments where the team is trying to make a run, and they're on. It's always on the fast break. And Tim Hardaway Jr. just gets back and he finds that angle that he knows you want to the rim, and he just sits right there. You just can't help but just bowl this brother over, and he gets it every single time. I think they said he was like second in the NBA on taking charges. But kudos to him. Shot 2 for 4 from the 3-point line. Was a plus 15 in that starting lineup, which was big. Jalen Duren, actually, shout out once again to him, had the biggest plus minus on the team of plus 16. Ended with a stat line of 16 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. I know it probably definitely helped facing Alperen Sengun, who's about an inch shorter than him. But a video I was going to do before, but then I forgot what time the game was, and the game was already started, so I didn't post it. But part of me thinks Alperen Sengun can be an idea of what Jalen Duren can look like long term. I want to get into that discussion. If you follow me this far through the video, definitely drop a basketball in the comment section and ask me a question. If you ask me a question or make a comment, I'll be sure to respond to it. We can have a whole conversation. But it's just to say, do you think he can get to that Alperen Sengun level where he's that fringe all-star? You look at somebody like Domantas Sabonis as well, who's another 6'9.5". a little bit shorter than Duren, center who's extremely successful. Do you think Duren can get there? Other than that, I'd say even shout out to Tobias Harris. Look, he ended with a stat line: 4 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. But the way he played the whole game, he was a commanding factor throughout the game. He was somebody who was consistently putting pressure on the defense, getting to his spots in the paint, posting up smaller players, drawing help defenders, really taking pressure off of everyone else. Because even if he missed the shot, it looked like it was going in. Like you could have swore that should have went in. It's going in and out, back iron. It looked good every time. And when you're a veteran, you want to have that effect on your team. That the shots that you're taking are reminding people, hey, we have a scheme, we have a plan. And I keep saying this, uh, that the Detroit Pistons right now are a team that have a culture, they have a system, they have the talent to beat just about anybody on any given night. And at the same time, they also have the ability to lose to just about anybody on any given night. If they don't stick to their culture, if they don't execute their scheme, and for the most part, I think they execute the scheme, but they don't always make sure to embody the culture of having that energy to compete. But when they do, they look like this. They look like one of those teams that has the ability to put out enough talent, athleticism, competitiveness, hustle that can beat anybody. I mean, Houston has been on a crazy heater. Jalen Green is going ape against just about anybody. And I think his teammate, Ausar Thompson's brother, probably said it best. He said, can't nobody stop Jalen Green. He said, except me. But apparently, so can his twin. Because Ausar Thompson was in this man's head. He was in his shorts. He was all over him. He didn't give him any space. He completely threw him off his rhythm, kept him from getting into his shots. Of course, he missed a few shots. He probably forced a few shots. And if I'm honest with y'all, I think him and Cade was into a little, back and forth. Like, yeah, you was number one and you was number two. And I'm going to show you why I'm number one. And I'm gonna show you why I should have been number one. And that did not work out to Jalen Green's advantage. I think that forced Jalen Green into a mindset where he was not playing necessarily the style of not forcing, making sure that he's getting to the rim, making sure that he's creating for his teammates, playing off of guys. He kind of got tunnel vision, and that played right into the Detroit Pistons' hands. Now, something else that I also want to point out is that not only did Ausar Thompson do a great job defending him, but Ausar Thompson, he did a great job of remembering the other ways that he contributes to this team. And one of the dominant ways that he contributes is on the boards. Look, this is not a big team. The Detroit Pistons are not a big team. When they have the ability to control the boards, they look good because that means their defense is not only getting the stops, but they're completing the stop by getting the defensive rebound. And that means that Ausar, Tobias Harris, Ron Holland, Fontecchio, all these guys have to pitch in. Cade, of course, is going to rebound as well. But it also leads right into their transition game. I thought in the first half, Ausar was looking a little bit too much to have a big offensive game. He looked like he was trying to get out in transition so often that he was not necessarily crashing the boards, even the offensive boards, which is a big part of what Ausar Thompson contributes to this team. Getting those loose balls, getting the 50-50 balls, getting those deflections, and getting that possession for his team. And so I think he did a better job in the second half, but I think he had his own thing between him and his brother. Because, bragging rights is real. Bragging rights is real. When you got the group chat and you going to post your stat line like, look what it is. I told you I was coming, right? Like, folks was trying to show out. Their parents was probably there, probably had the whole family there, in Houston watching both of their sons, both of their nephews playing, and they wanted to play well. They wanted to play well, and you could see it. They was locked in. But something I do want to tell y'all, look, some of y'all, I got this wild comment. I'm not even going to act like it's everybody. There's one individual. Y'all can check the comments. Oh, my goodness. On my last video, he made this comment about Ausar Thompson, and he was saying his defense is overrated and how he really doesn't contribute that much. And he started going in, and I was like, what? I was like, look, first of all, Now, folks was getting on, he's not Ahmed. He's probably a Houston Rockets fan. But I was sitting there, I was like, look, y'all forget. He had blood clots at the end of last season, which meant that he was not able to train. He was not able to go into intensive training. Blood clots are life threatening. That was why he was not able to do any intense drills, competitive play. He was out of shape massively and didn't come back until November. For him to be able to have these types of games speaks to not only his talent, not only to his ability to push through, but also his determination to show up for his team. Ausar Thompson, what he is bringing, I've done more than enough videos that y'all should already be aware of this. He changes the landscape of this team's defense. He gives them the ability to cover ground, to challenge shots, to compete for loose balls and rebounds, block shots. He brings an element that they simply do not have. And if I'm honest with you, only few teams have. Few teams have a Dyson Daniels, a Trey Murphy, or a Herb Jones, or the guy who's all over the place creating havoc, a Scotty Barnes, right? There's only a few teams that have that guy, and the Detroit Pistons have him. They have him. Now, shout out to also Ron Holland, who hit one of his 3 threes, and when he saw that he didn't have it going, he got other guys involved. And I love that unselfishness to be able to see that from a player with his level of athleticism and offensive talent, that he remembers his teammates, that he's not just trying to get he's not just trying to show out, almost like a Cam Whitmore early in his career, the first season or two. He's known to be a shot chucker, and many times he could shoot his team out of games. Even in this even in this game, there was times where you were just like, man, he's still shooting. He's still shooting. And it was one of those situations where it's like you probably didn't need to. You probably could have worked the ball around to get a better shot. All right. And so shout out to Ron Holland, who's already showing that maturity early on. But I think it also speaks to the amount of talent on his team. Not to mention Cade Cunningham, him and Ron Holland are from the area. And they grew up with each other. There's an old picture of them in high school. I want to say like Ron is a freshman or 8th grader and Cade is like a senior or something like that. But they know each other. And so I think that there's that trust and deferment to where guys can talk to him, calm him down, keep him focused, keep him level. And I think that's bode extremely well for him. But the dude I want to make sure that I really put some emphasis on, put some respect on his name, is my man Marcus Sasser. My man Marcus Sasser, he's had the difficult job of trying to transition between being a scoring lead guard to being a facilitating lead guard. And that has caused for him to have some, to leave a lot left wanting on the table when it comes to the early part, first third, first half of this season, where you watch games and you're like, man, what happened to the dude last season who could get you potentially 20 points at any given time, who was a lights out 3-point shooter, who had a bag, who's getting buckets. And you know what happened to him? He's still right here. Apparently, all that was just waiting to get unlocked again, and for him to put it together and be like, you know what, I got this, because that's exactly what he did the last couple of games. Shout out to JB Bickerstaff, who you can see there's a clear initiative to say we're going to push the pace. We're not going to give teams the opportunity to load up on us and try to guard us 92 feet and bog down our offense, which actually lends to a great majority of turnovers many times. Now, I know Cade was turning this ball over, oh my God, over and over. God, I mean, sometimes it's tough to watch. But all that's to say is that speeding up the pace of the game has played into their hands to keep the defense on its heels and to allow for Cade and Marcus Sasser to get downhill really fast. Something I always look for with Marcus Sasser is he getting paint touches? Is he getting into the paint consistently? Because that's a major part of his game. His ability to break down defenses, his ability to create with the ball in his hands, to get into the teeth of the defense, and to create for himself and others. His playmaking, I've said all along, is second to only Cade Cunningham on this team. He has the full bag. He can finish with his left, his right. He can finish over the rim, under the rim. He can give you the floater. He can give you the floater off the glass. He can catch you at angles. He can give you the off the weak foot, same hand, same foot layups. He can give you the step back pull backs. He can give you the pull ups. He can give you the full thing. He's got the full bag. And when he's getting paint touches with that, lets me know is he's playing aggressively and he's playing instinctually. And that is going to be a huge boost for this team. If him and Malik Beasley can become one of those backcourts coming in off the bench that can guarantee they're going to get you anywhere between 20 to 30 points a game, that's going to be huge for this team. This game, they got them 25 points between the two of them. Now, on top of that, Marcus Sasser also had a bunch of assists that just got dropped. Left short, couldn't finish. Isaiah Stewart missed a couple of them. But I think we're going to start seeing more and more Marcus Sasser ending with games of 12 points, 15 points, 4 assists, 6 assists on good efficiency. And that's going to also, I think, help this team out because it's going to allow Cade Cunningham to rest. Because there was a period, I think we all remember, the game was getting tight. And the coach was looking like, we might have to put Cade back in this game so we don't lose this lead. And then all of a sudden, Marcus Sasser with the floater and one. Didn't get the foul call, but the floater and one. And then all of a sudden, he gets the pull-up three. And all of a sudden, everything calms down again. That's the ability that he has. And so for some of y'all who are out there talking about we need to go and get somebody else, slow down. Slow down. The sophomore, the second-year guy is showing he's still that guy. You don't need to get nobody. You don't need to figure out something else. You already got your answer. And I've been saying this. All the answers for this team are already on the team. But if you made it this far towards the end of the video, drop some stars in the comment section for me and answer me this question. If the Detroit Pistons do go after somebody, who do you think could embody the culture, fill a position of need, and continue to allow this team to grow and develop without taking away minutes or opportunities from this young core? All right? Part of the culture, position of need, and not take away from the core. This is not easy. It's not an easy question. I have a hard time with it. I like guys like Delano Banton, Jabari Walker. I like Lonzo Ball. But who do you like? Get at me in the comment section. I'm going to get at y'all there. If you like the video, smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. And I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.